Just
Welcome.
making sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so
When
yeah,
was
we
the
did-
first fort built and who built it? The French. The French came up the Mississippi and they came down from Quebec and Montreal. So they came down both the sets of rivers, and they decided that this area here was a good place to have a fort because all this fertile soil that's on the ground here is really great for crops. And so they decided that they would have people, they moved people in here and they started farms, and then they realized they had to have a fort to protect them because there were still a lot of Indians in this area. So they built a fort. It's not that fort, they built a different fort. And that fort got flooded out eventually because it was too close to the Mississippi River. So they made another one, and then I think they ended up building this replica in 1950 or so, right around that time. And it's a replica of the fort because they have diaries and picture journals that people drew of when they lived here. So they know exactly what the fort looked like and how it operated. So in 1950 they decided that they wanted to rebuild it, but I think that the powder magazine that's on the inside, I think that was the original powder magazine.
yeah.
So to keep the powder safe and dry. And
So-
that's what we use for a tornado shelter because
Oh.
when we were here a couple years ago, we could see the tornado hitting over at Redbud.
my
And
gosh.
then another time, and then one time in the middle of the night, they came out and said, the tornadoes are heading here, you've got to come in. And so we all left the tents and we went in and sat in the powder house and in the chapel until it blew over. And then we came back out and our tents were fine. We could have been stayed right here where we were. It all worked out just fine. So the French were here, and then the French were here for a long time, and I think they turned over the fort to the British, to the Spanish. And I think the Spanish had it for a little while, and then I think the French got it back for a little while, and I think the English took it over. So, and then people just liked the idea, and so they revived the fort, and then the rendezvous movement started in America, I guess sometime after the celebration of the American Revolution in 1976. So then people were into that kind of thing, and so they found out that people were really interested in it. So, and now we come out and do it. And my husband has a business; he sells maps, but we don't sell maps today. We're here to play today. So,
How long have you been working here?
we don't work here. We only come on their big holiday weekend, on their weekends. So we are not here all the time. We just come here for, there's a big event in the spring in June, and then there's this fall event, which is the Woods Walk Hunt. And a lot of men come for this because they have a shooting event on the other side of the river, on the other side of that dike over there usually, and it's black powder. So if you've ever heard black powder rifles go off, they are very loud. And the guys all go over there and they do that. And they don't actually hunt animals, they have traps. They have traps and things that they shoot at.
Do you know what kind of animals were here when they were using the fort?
Originally, elk, bison, bears, deer, fox, all that stuff that was here is here now. That was here, and I think the elk and the bison are pretty much gone though.
Yeah.
They don't have those here anymore.